Wedding gifts for your Indian wedding in Italy. Do or don't? Hello everyone, I'm Svetlana from Best Indian Weddings Italy, the first and only wedding planning agency in Italy specialized in Indian weddings. Every day I help Indian brides and grooms to be realize their authentic celebrations in the most beautiful country in the world. I'm running this series of videos called SOS Indian Weddings in Italy with useful tips and advice that you won't find anywhere else. So if you are looking to host your Indian destination wedding in Italy, then please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell to always keep updated with the new videos every week. The topic of this week is wedding gifts for your Indian wedding in Italy. Do or don't? In this video, I want to talk about wedding gifts, which sometimes are a thing and sometimes not. Often couples ask me if they should have them at their wedding, and in case they decide they want them, they ask me for suggestions about wedding gifts for their Indian wedding in Italy. For any other non-Indian couple or for any other wedding planner in Italy not specialized in Indian weddings, not having wedding gifts is unthinkable. Wedding gifts are a must, and if you even try to say you don't want them, you will surely get some weird looks. But why are wedding gifts so important in Italy? Because wedding gifts or bomboniere are a real tradition. They are a part of the culture and a nice way to thank the guest. Years ago, the trend was to give decorative silver objects to the guest, which were basically useless and would end up being just ornaments and people furniture. The more weddings people attended, the more would the collection grow. By the end of the day, people don't really know what to do with such objects. On the one hand, it wouldn't be nice to throw them away. On the other hand, they would eventually run out of the space to place them and become a bother. In the last few years, the trend in Italy was the do-it-yourself with sustainable and eco-friendly wedding gifts. There were also couples who decided to give this money to charity instead of using it to buy wedding gifts and then giving a note to their guests telling them about such a decision. And why am I telling you this? Because wedding gifts in Italy are quite expensive. Now talking about foreign couples who get married in Italy and are pushed by their wedding planners to have these wedding gifts, we can find different kinds of gifts which have a cost and which sometimes may be useful and sometimes not. A very important thing I want to highlight is that you should never feel obligated to make any choice against your will. It is your wedding and it must reflect your personalities, the idea you have of the wedding, and mostly it doesn't have to throw you over budget. So if you decide to have these wedding gifts because your wedding planner says it's a must, then at least try to keep it in the budget and not overspend just to have nice photos as the ones that you can see on the wedding blogs. Because remember that this could be an unexpected expense that you didn't take into consideration while calculating your wedding budget. Especially if you have 150 to 200 guests, even a small gift can turn into a big expense. Therefore, the question, wedding gift at your Indian wedding in Italy, do or don't? In all the Indian weddings we have planned so far, I never pushed couples on having wedding gifts. First of all, because an Indian destination wedding means having only your dearest friends and family by your side. They're not weddings with 600 to 800 people when you don't even know more than half. It's more likely a family gathering where there will always be some family member or friend you haven't seen in a while, but who are still people you care about and have a deep bond with. And I'm sure any of them would ever think less of you just because you didn't prepare a wedding gift for them. It's something they wouldn't expect from you. So if you decide to have wedding gifts for them, it would be your choice and it's surely not mandatory. I have seen couples at many Indian destination weddings asking their guests not to bring them any gift, as they understand that their guests would already have to pay for the trip and accommodation. And for some people, that could already be a huge expense and effort. Couples only want to share their joy with their guests, and that's already a big gift for them. Likewise, the guests understand big efforts made by the couple, both economically and logistically, to organize all the events and to bring them all for the destination wedding in Italy. They won't expect any wedding gift from them, while they will surely treasure good moments spent together in such a beautiful country, gorgeous views, amazing food, great organization, and smooth unfolding of the events. And the wedding gift will hardly be on top of that list. So in my humble opinion, you can easily go without one. If instead you would really like your guests to have something to remember about your wedding in Italy, even a small thing, and you have calculated a part of your budget for this, then I'm happy to share some advice for different budgets that you can take into consideration. The most budget-friendly solution, which is a very nice idea and also very Italian that your guest would really like, is sugared almonds, which in Italy are traditional for any big occasion. The guest receives their gift, big or small, to which is added a small bag of sugared almonds, which in Italy are called confetti, not to be mistaken with paper confetti as it's intended in English. There is an old tradition behind sugared almonds, and when we talk about weddings in Italy, you'll always find 5 of them in a small bag or box, accompanied by a small note with the names of the spouses and the date and location of their wedding. This way, with a very tiny expense, you'll be able to have very nice gifts for your guests. Consider that in Italy, sugared almonds are sold in stores in half or 1 kilo boxes. You can also find different confetti in different flavors such as strawberry, chocolate, lemon, pistachio, and so on. Since with one big box you could create gifts for a lot of guests, for a wedding with 100 guests you would need 2 to 3 boxes depending on the weight. Since each box costs around 15 to 20 euros, you would need to calculate 45 to 60 euros for the confetti. Then you could order small nice boxes or even tulle bags online on Etsy and then print at home small notes or even handwrite them. So with just 1.50 euros per person, you can create very nice gifts for your guests without going over budget. If instead you have some extra budget, there are other ideas I often suggest. For example, a really nice idea are the tiny bottles of olive oil with a small knot tied to the lid, where instead of writing the names of the spouses and the date, you could just write thank you. Another similar idea, if you get married in the Amalfi Coast or in Sorrento, are small bottles of limoncello. But beware, because limoncello is alcoholic and it's not always appreciated by elderly or by those people who don't drink alcohol for religious reasons. Therefore, it wouldn't be a great idea in that case, whereas it would be appreciated by other guests who could also drink during the reception. For a past wedding, we used tiny bottles of olive oil and balsamic vinegar, for example, which being small could easily be carried on the plane. In cases like this, take into consideration those guests who may travel with only carry-on bag and wouldn't be able to bring big gifts such as a bottle of wine, for example, with them. Consider that some gifts can be personalized. For example, using small bottles with no brand names, you can order personalized tags to stick on them. Another idea could be using small jars of Italian marmalade. And since many estates in Italy produce their own wine, oil, or maybe have their vegetables and fruit garden, it may happen that your chosen venue produces their own products and you can take advantage of that. For this kind of gift, consider 5 to 6 euros per person. Other solutions for higher budgets could be a handmade tile painted with decorative maiolica, which is very common on the Amalfi Coast, famous for its maiolica tiles. It can be hung on the wall or used on the dining table under hot pans or dishes. You could also have them personalized with your names and the date of the wedding, or buy them already painted with different patterns. These can also be found in Tuscany, where they made artisanal ceramics. And you could choose artisanal ceramic coffee cups with their small plates, or maybe a sugar jars, which can also be used to store jewelry, for example. These are all ideas we used for previous weddings and that are symbols of this beautiful country and also useful objects. So talking about these last ones, like the maiolica tile or ceramic coffee cup, consider that the cost goes from 12 to 25 euros per person, depending on the quality, shape, size, and also wrapping. So in this case, 25 euros per person for a wedding with 200 guests is almost 500 euros expense. Of course, you could spend that 500 euros on something else. So if that's something you have budgeted for, then this could be very nice ideas that your guests will surely appreciate. So my suggestion is, first of all, never feel obligated to have wedding gifts for your guests. Then decide on how much you would be willing to spend on them without looking at Instagram or online blogs with cool pictures and then thinking to buy mega gifts for just 5 euros each. And last but not least, think about what your guests could actually bring with them on the plane. It should be something easy to carry, not too heavy, that won't open and spill its content. And when you choose wedding gifts, do it by heart and not just because it's a trend. And if you want some more inspiration or advice on the wedding gifts, depending on the area in Italy you choose for your wedding, then leave us a comment and I'll be happy to reply. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video that I hope can truly help you with planning your beautiful Indian wedding in Italy. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to my channel, follow Best Indian Weddings Italy on Facebook and Instagram, comment in the post and I will be happy to answer. See you next week!